Dr. Ashutosh Pradhan is Mumbai representative of the Association of Left-handers, India. His topic is left-handedness, WEIM analysis, that is will, emotions, intellect, memory analysis of emotional development. He is a reputed homeopath by profession for over 3 decades. Dr. Ashutosh has undergone clinical training in both homeopathy and allopathy. He has also been teaching homeopathy in reputed institutions. He is the founder, owner of many companies working in the field of health and life sciences. Dr. Pradhan has been an active member and Mumbai representative of the Association of Left-handers for many decades. He has also developed and looks after the association websites on his own. So we are really, really grateful to you for your service to the association and to the left-handers. And I now request you to please take over and make your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vipin. Thank you for your kind words. Very good evening for the people who are joining from Australia. Good afternoon for people who are joining from India, and good morning for people who are joining from the Western countries. Today, while we were choosing for this topic, I decided to speak on what we do day in, day out in our practice. And that is why I chose this particular topic. So I would really take you through this particular topic. Before beginning my speech, I would really thank all the committee members of Association of Left-handers Pune, as well as the other organization which is our associated with us. And also thanks to Bipin for organizing everything so smoothly. And due to this particular opportunity, I am in front of you and I am discussing these aspects with you right now. So let us move on. I would really want you to go through this brief short video and just relate everybody about what happens or this is what happens with us, we being as a life as a left-hander.
Is there any audio to it?
No, there was no audio. Audio was just a silent music. So this is only a clip. I am sure that most of you might have related yourself, your life with these kind of circumstances where you have been come across this kind of circumstances. I hope all of you are with me on this. So let's move ahead. And what are the issues which we commonly face in our lives being left-hander? Writing is the first thing which has been noticed, which is spooked at times, then mirror image at times, and less speed at times. We are not able to handle the speed during the exams. What are our first interactions where we face, we realize that we are left-hander and then we are born in the world of right-handers. There's the equipments like scissor. When you try and cut using a scissor, rest of the class might able to cut during the handicraft periods or during the handicraft sessions, but you being a left-hander are not able to cut in a proper way, and you fumble and your paper doesn't get sharply cut, and then you lag behind in the handicraft session. But rest of your colleagues go ahead, move ahead, and they are just looking at you. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you fumbling? Why are you not able to cut in a very sharp way? Another thing is mugs. When you hold a mug while you're taking a coffee or a tea or milk, the main logo or the image is facing the opposite person if you are holding the mug on the right hand side. But if you're a left-hander and if you're drinking with your left hand and holding the mug in your left hand, the main logo is facing yourself. It's not facing the audience. Then measuring flask, at times when you pick up the measuring flask and you find that the measuring scale and whatever milliliters you need to observe are not printed on your side, but they are on the other side. Then doors of household appliances such as a refrigerator, then all other appliances where you might have, try to pull up the door with your left hand and you will realize that it is meant for right-handed person. Then typically wristwatch is another thing where at least myself I have been fumbled a lot. whenever you're using a belt which is like, closed like this, and then I used to tend to fall the watch on the floor as well. While really adjusting the time, the knob of the watch is meant for a right hander. Then you have personal as well as business interactions wherein you will, shake hand with your left hand and somebody will shake hand with his right hand. So these are the kind of things you face and come across in the day-to-day living when you are living as a left-hander. I hope you all agree with me. So what comes next is hello. I hope I'm audible, Lena.
Lena, keep your mic mute, please. Hope you good to join.
Yeah.
Welcome, please. Lena, can you hear us? Can you please mute your mic, Lena? Yeah. Hello. I'll please continue.
Yeah. So what comes next is, people around, they will try to change your handedness, either right-handed or ambidextrous way. Mostly nowadays, there's quite a lot of awareness, so nobody will try and change and by forcing you. But in earlier ages, during my childhood, my parents did not force me, but maybe some people, while accepting cash, they try and force you to give that cash by using your right hand. Then you have a kind of pressure on you. Already you are, the main kind of person in the class or wherever you go, as you try and prefer your left hand. So these are the trauma symbols what we usually come across in our early childhood. Smudged hand, then the seizures, then your hand banging with somebody who is a right-handed and you're sitting on the right-hand side of the right-handed person. And what we discussed, the knob as well, this particular desk where it is meant for a right-hander, and as a left-hander you have to completely roam around and then turn around and then write with your left hand. So these are the trauma symbols, or these are the situations where we make ourselves, kind of in a very different state of being, and then we are observed by the other people that why are you fumbling or why are you struggling to continue with the activity which has been going on. So the what is the impact of right-handed word? What is the impact of being a left-hander in a right-handed word? Disturbed emotional health. Maybe in the earlier ages, I most of us usually come across and come over all these situations and are developed and matured enough to handle and tackle this situation. But yeah, in the earlier age, we might have some kind of a disturbed emotional health. Few left-handers cope up with this disturbed emotional mental health, and few could not, and they continue to suffer. So importance of mental health of a left-hander, is it really important? So I would take you a little away from this main topic, and then if at all somebody is suffering, to whom, how do they deal with it? A psychologist, psychiatrist, or a homeopath? So few of you might have a question in your mind that why a homeopath? I would rather prefer a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So I'll have some kind of narration why a homeopath. So I would tell something about me, why I am a homeopath, consulting homeopath, and you might have a question, what's that? It's a 5.5 years equivalent degree. We have all the clinical subjects, as well as we are also have a good clinical exposure for a couple of years, and then there's 1 year of internship posted at an appropriate hospital. So clinically, we are equipped equivalent to an MBBS doctor, and whatever case we receive from the patient, if you really go through the case taking pro forma, we actually go through the same kind of case taking pro forma what another modern medicine doctor would take up a case, but we additionally focus a lot of time on receiving the emotional state and life situation of the particular patient who is taking or willing to take homeopathic treatment. So I have been taking cases since 1993, and then we have received so many cases where I have collected emotional state and life situation of multiple patients. And then I always correlate this as health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely absence of the disease or infirmity. This is the WHO definition, which dates long back it's dated 22nd of July 1946. It's there in their constitution. So I myself personally see to it that whenever I am treating a patient, I restore the patient on all these aspects. So whenever a patient is received by us as homeopath, we process their entire case irrespective of what ailment they are suffering from. Even if we receive cases of twins, we also consider them from all the aspects. Now, what is mental health? Have you ever seen a one-pager medical report of mine? Most of you might have not seen because we don't have labs which give you a one-pager report of what exactly goes on in your mind. And how do we intend to achieve balance? We must learn more about mind and we must be more aware about mind so that I can guide you how you can handle the stressful situation as a left-hander or even otherwise. So let us take a journey from birth to death or right since childhood and evolve age-wise. So whenever we in this journey, we are trying to collect data wherever we see existence of mind in our life journey. So birth, age, few seconds. Whenever we are born, what first thing we notice is that we start crying. That because of the pain which is experienced in the chest when the lungs expand for the first time. And similarly, for a left-hander, we experience pain or some kind of sadness whenever somebody is trying to force you to accept your right hand for the daily activities what you're going to do. So that is what is the sense what we experience for the first time. Then we are conscious. We're conscious about the whole surrounding as well as what's going on all around. So as a left-hander, we are conscious that all other colleagues in the classroom in a handicraft session are going ahead of you and you're still fumbling, fiddling with the scissors for cutting sharp the papers which are being given to you. What comes is that we get qualified, we are educated, we are imparted with moral values, and that is how our comprehension is developed throughout education as well as in moral values. And whatever we are taught, whatever we learned as an experimental or experientially we learn in our lives is what is been stored in the memory. Then also we have, whenever it relates to memory, we have kind of a genetic inheritance that whether you can restore from the past as well as the present, whatever is going on. What comes next is during the age of 4 to 5 for a left-hander as well, whenever you are at the teenage or adolescent age, we have a lot of emotions. As a left-hander, the typical situations and scenarios which we have seen in the small short clip is what leads to emotions, and we are sad or emotionally disturbed because of being left-handed in the initial and earlier childhood days. Then we have hand preference, right to vote, where that is what is our will, or we have a powerful desire to use our left hand and not our right hand. So that is how, or I would say that we develop our will right since childhood when we prefer our left hand to be used for major work, whatever we do on a daily basis. So these are the components of mind what we dealt with, and this is what is we use in homeopathy as components of mind. And if we really relate it to the axis, these are the incidences of our during our lifespan, and ultimately whatever we are striving for is we are striving for being satisfied, being happy, and means we are enjoying a better mental health. I hope all of you are with me till this particular slide. If at all you have any questions, please do note down so that you can ask me later at the end of my talk. So this is what we usually call it as WEIM. will, emotion, intellect, and memory. This is not my invention or this is not my discovery. We commonly use this in homeopathic repertory. Whenever we do BHMS, we are taught to analyze each and every case in this particular pattern where whatever are the symptoms of will are been listed on the top of the list. Then comes the symptoms related to emotion. Then comes the symptoms related to intellect, and then comes the symptoms related to memory. So whenever we are choosing a homeopathic remedy, say for a viral fever or common cold, we analyze the whole case in this much detail where we collect all the data of the life situation of the person as well as stress which what has been experienced by the individual, and then we list all these complaints, the symptoms and his feelings in this particular systematic way, and then try and choose the remedy. So let us go ahead and see how we can analyze a left-hander. So as I uh, explained you earlier, will, W is for will, E is for emotion, I is for intellect, and M is for memory. That is what we called it as WEIM analysis of a left-hander. And I typically call that this is a music of living. So if you can balance out all these components very well on a very rational scale, then you enjoy really a good mental health and you are happy and satisfied in your life. So I usually say that this is what is a compartmentalized mind. If at all, whosoever is listening to my talk and whosoever is have come across any different aspect of mind, I welcome you to please notify me if you feel that you don't agree with this particular classification. This particular classification is from our homeopathic repertory subject where we commonly use this classification for each and every case. But if at all you feel that this is not the way, there are some other aspects of mind which do not get covered in this particular 4 segments, please, you are most welcome to contact me and do let me know what you feel about it. So what comes to the music when we enjoy? So this is kind of what we are going through. This particular presentation is that we are going to learn how to rationalize the emotions by means of will, emotions, intellect, and memory, and use a beam equalizer to enjoy music of living. That means you are very happy and satisfied about your life or about your career, whatever you're going, you're doing right now. So life as a left-hander, we have already seen some issues. Again, I'm going to bring you back to those issues. So these are the issues which I have discussed a bit earlier. So let us go ahead and see how you can analyze the emotions, will, emotions, intellect, and memory as far as these issues are concerned with regards to a left-hander. So whenever we come across any of these issues, what we experience as an individual is that we have a will that we have to choose our left hand for most of the activities like writing or holding a racket or bat or whatever activity you are doing. And then there is the world around which is meant for right-handed, and you are aware that everything is for meant for right-handed. And so this is how what you feel if you analyze your situation when you face this kind of circumstances, is what is your will, is you want to prefer or you want to use your left hand, your emotions feeling different and isolated from the rest of the world because you are grabbing attention for each and everyone. Say just let's take an example. There is a class of children and then everybody is cutting the paper using scissor and only you are there who are not able to cut properly, but rest of the 99% of the class people are able to cut sharply the papers and they are able to continue the activity. Obviously the class teacher will give proper attention to you and will try and see why you are not able to cut the paper. So with that you get a sense that you are somebody who is different than the rest of the world, and your identity is challenged when they look at you a bit sarcastically in the initial stages till the time they realize that you are a left-hander. Maybe at times few people may feel sad or they feel that they are not confident while performing this kind of an activity. And what is your intellect? When you grasp that and you analyze that this is not the problem with me, but I am a left-hander and I am born in the right-handed world. And the memory you carry is a bit kind of an isolation till the time you meet another left-hander and you feel that there's something wrong and you are not confident about the activities, or you continue to have a sort of low confidence because of you're not able to perform the kind of activities the rest of the people can perform. So this is the analysis when it comes to writing, mirror image, or speed. Then what is the outcome? Overcome all the emotional turmoil. There are certain individuals who can overcome all the emotional turmoil. There are certain individuals who cannot overcome this turmoil and they continue to suffer. Their confidence continue to remain low. And suppose if that particular person where we have had a case where that patient used to develop recurrent infections and recurrent complaints, where after taking the case, I learned that the person was left-hander and he was forced to change his hand to right hand and he was forced to write using his right hand, and then there was a confusion of his identity. And considering that aspect, when I prescribed a homeopathic remedy, he really responded very well. So there are kind of individuals who have challenged identity due to being left-hander, and there are individuals who continue to have low confidence throughout their life. So disturbed mental health is the outcome of being a left-hander born in a right-handed world. But this I am not generalizing to each and everyone. There are few who continue to suffer, but there are few or majority of the people who are mature enough and they overcome this situation quite quickly and they can face the situation very healthily and happily. So let us move ahead now. Being a left-hander at a workplace, so you are a manager and you have say 4 roles to play at workplace: as a manager or as an employee or as a founder or employer, director or CEO, or at home as spouse, parent of kids, and you have to face your parents, your seniors, as a daughter or as a son. And whenever you have all these interpersonal relationship very well sorted out, you don't have any issues in your life and you are enjoying mental health thoroughly and you are satisfied and contented. But say, for example, let us do a WEIM analysis of a left-hander manager. He has to achieve target. So his will is to achieve target set for him by the employer. Emotions, if he is using certain equipments and gadgets and his performance is dependent on those gadgets, then he is a bit anxious to achieve targets. If at all that particular left-hander is continuing with low confidence or anxious situations in his life, then his intellect, he has developed certain skills through his education as well as through whatever practical training has been imparted on him, and his memory always relate to whatever has been achieved in the quarters or his performance, whatever has been achieved through his performance. So this is what is a WEIM analysis, that his will is to achieve targets, emotion, anxious, low confidence, intellect, though he has developed skills, and his memory is about his milestones achieved in this quarter. Now, let us identify the problem area, which 4 of this is out of proportion in the WEIM analysis of a left-hander at workplace. So we must sit down and do a retrospection, and then we really do a kind of introspection and realize that what kind of issues we are facing, and then really decide upon what exactly is the problem area. Now, this is what when it comes to an employee, but if at all you are a CEO or you are a founder of your organization, then you have invested as a left-hander, you have invested good amount in the business, what you're running, and your emotions are you're excited about running a good business, and your intellect that you are searching for talent to employ, and you have employed a talented employee, and then in your memory, you're trying to recover whatever investment you've made. So we are taking a balanced view of an employer as well as an employee. So this is a WEIM analysis of a left-hander employee, and he may have to face less challenges because all what he has to do is supervise the employee and then get the required output from the employees employed by him. Now let us match the employee employer WIM emotion intellect memory analysis. Now as an employer, he must get returns. Only he can get returns if his employee achieves the target, and the employee is anxious to achieve the target, though the employee is excited to really count on what the performance the employee is really giving. And the intellect part is the skills of the employee as well as here the search of the talent, and then again the performance in the memory. When you come home as a left-hander, your will is to rest and enjoy. Emotions is happy, calm. Intellect is maybe you prefer using social media, and memory should be pleasant at home. So when it comes to interpersonal relationship, you must have good interpersonal relationship with your son, maybe your daughter or your father as well as your spouse. So at home, interpersonal relationship has to be very nice and very good. If at all there is a messed up rules at your workplace or messed up rules at home, and if there are antagonizing rules at workplace and at home, then what you experience is stress, and you may not experience happy and healthy life. So what you need to analyze, retrospect, introspect, analyze, and try and restore your will, emotion, intellect, and memory, and improve upon these interpersonal relationships, and bridge the gap between your expectation and the reality so that you reduce the stress. More the gap, more is the stress. And what is the stress with regards to him? Expectation is your desire, that is your will, and me plus something, me plus someone is equal to happiness, or that is equal to satisfaction, that is emotion. As well as changing outside entity, happiness is at risk if you try and change the outside entity, either the individual or the organization. So that is a kind of it may lead to stress. So you need to adjust the WIM switch, which is what I am calling as WIM switch expectation and desire, to improve upon your own relation as well as the outside environment. So you need to do introspection, as what I said, apply emotional intelligence, repair the switch, and achieve a golden mean between the expectation and the reality, and use the WIM equalizer to enjoy a good mental health. Now, if at all, these are few factors that if at all you are facing any kind of problem and issues, you be honest to yourself as well as to the world, and maintain 100% transparency so that you can really analyze yourself and write down what are the issues you are facing, and you can improve on those issues. And then also improve work-life balance, and which will lead to matching the jigsaw puzzle and ultimately satisfaction. So this is the effectiveness, and I would suggest that you can have a satisfaction quotient where the period of contentment divided by period of discontentment. So whenever the period of discontentment is less, obviously you will enjoy more in your life. So whenever you are enjoying, whenever you are satisfied, it secretes endorphins in your body, and higher the endorphins, higher is the health what you enjoy. So this is what all about from me. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions. Do let me know. I would like to answer your questions.
Yeah, thank you very much for a very, very, very detailed analysis
Okay, thank
of
you.
how human intellect, how human emotion. So it was wonderful and very detailed, very studied, very studied. And I would ask our Zoom participants, if anybody has any questions, please ask. I guess no, but I have one question like I had for Dipali.
Yeah, sure.
left-handers we see. I personally met thousands of left-handers. You too must have met many.
Yeah.
They come in different categories. They come in different types, but all of them have one thing in common, that they certainly have some kind of stress and additional stress that you have mentioned on their life, on their body, mind, which sometimes is not noticed by a lay person, but as we study this topic, we notice it.
Right. Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
My question is, yeah, I'm coming to the question. I mean, emotionally, how you have given good solutions to how to release your emotional stress and how to bring the balance between work life, between other things. Some left-handers we see excel beyond exception. They are at the top level at many things, and we often give their examples like celebrities, like US presidents, and then Bollywood stars, so many other things, right from Alexander and Michelangelo and other things. So is there something that is there that we need to tell left-handers to inculcate that will surpass, overcome their emotional traumas and bring something unique out of them that no one else can do? Is there anything like that that is possible or is there? This is, I mean, I know it's a bit vague question, but hope you can understand the gist.
Yeah. In a sense,
are you getting my point?
In a very simple language, as what I explained, if you can rationalize your way of thinking, and if you really can overcome the kind of negative emotions you experience as a left-hander as quickly as possible, and if you can master the skill of doing the activities as a left-hander in a right-handed world, I think with a powerful will, I think you can succeed and you can perform in a very excellent way, and obviously you will achieve whatever targets and goals you want to achieve in your life. So I would suggest that you should be
Yes.
having a very strong will, and you should balance out yourself in a very rational thinking and proceed with your goals in your life. So whosoever left-handers
That's right.
we have
Thank you.
seen, they have done this successfully. That is why they are very successful.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your very, very elaborate presentations, and hope we can interact later also, and we'll have many more such small events happening. And thank you very much.
Okay.